I am going to talk very quickly about the Whitehill and Bordon experience because I was originally given 20 minutes, which has been slashed to 15. So yes, I'm Kate Hillerby. I'm the Whitehill and Bordon Healthy New Town Programme Manager. When I'm not doing that, I'm a funding manager, so I'm not a planning or a public health consultant, which makes it quite interesting doing the work. So I'm often working with a lot of planners and public health consultants. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Healthy New Town programme overall, and then I will talk more specifically about Whitehill and Bordon. So the Healthy New Town programme was born out of the 5-year forward view, which was published in 2014 by NHS England, and it proposed that well-designed communities could help to tackle the 21st century challenges of obesity and ageing. It was a return to the turn of the last century principles of Ebenezer, Howard and the Garden Cities movement. The Healthy New Towns programme has 3 objectives: to shape communities to promote health and well-being, prevent illness and to keep people independent, to rethink delivery of health and care services and bring services closer to people's homes, and really importantly, to share learning with other new communities. 10 demonstrator sites were selected from 114 applicants. We're not healthy new towns already. We're demonstrating things that you can do to become healthy new towns. So we're not holding ourselves up as already being healthy new towns. The towns vary in size. Ebbsfleet Garden City is 15,000 new homes. Halton is 800 homes, and there's very different demographics across all the sites. Cranbrook is a greenfield site, and many of the sites are brownfield sites. Whitehill and Bordon, my site, is an ex-MOD site, and Halton, for example, is an NHS site. So where is Whitehill and Bordon? Well, we're on the south coast. We're just above the south coast, and we're surrounded by Portsmouth, Guildford, Winchester, Chichester, all about 20 miles away, and that's where our local acute hospitals are. So if you need to go to hospital, it's the 20-mile drive, and there's absolutely no public transport. So long as you've got a car, you're okay. If you haven't got a car, it is really difficult if you have healthcare challenges. So Whitehill and Bordon is a former garrison town. The population has significant health inequalities, particularly compared to the rest of East Hampshire, which is a very affluent area. The main health challenges are significantly higher than the English national average in excess weight for children entering and leaving primary school, and also preschool readiness. We've got quite a young population, and we are facing significant challenges with our children. The Army left Whitehill and Bordon in 2015. This freed up land for 3,350 new homes, 5,500 new jobs, a new town centre, which is a bit of a challenge in the current retail climate, a new school, a new health hub, and a new leisure centre. The town is physically divided by the A325, which goes down the middle of the town. On the east of the town is the existing town, and on the west of the town is where the new town will be. So you've got a real potential for a them and us situation. We have, however, just completed a new relief road that was 10 years in the planning, and we opened it up in February. So that is taking traffic around the outside of the town, and we've been given local growth funding to put in new crossings across the A325 to join the two towns together better, and we've got funding for a green grid, green loop cycle route across the town and around the town as well. We are surrounded by Lowland Heath Natura 2000 sites, so we've got a significant amount of sangs in the town, which has provided an opportunity for providing more green space. We were determined that when we became a healthy new town, and that we were determined that our development in total should really improve opportunities for the existing people in the town as well. So we brought together a range of partners to deliver 4 work streams, and these are urban environment, which will provide the physical infrastructure to make it easier to walk or cycle around town than to get in the car, and also to make the new town accessible to all. The next work stream is active lifestyles, which will help people to lead healthy lives, and it's focused on inactive families, social isolation and preschool readiness. And this active lifestyles is really the flip side of the urban infrastructure work stream, in that it provides behaviour change programmes to help people use the new infrastructure that we will be putting in the town. And then we have healthy homes, which is really about technology-enabled care to help people stay in their homes as long as possible. And then the healthcare work stream, and we're relocating an underutilised community hospital into a state-of-the-art new health hub in the new town centre. So to make sure that the programme that we designed actually combated the barriers to living healthy lives for the local people, the first thing that we did was undertake insight work into activity levels in families. We also did some insight work with schools and with old people, with groups that worked with older people around social isolation. The insight work with families told us that everybody felt that they had to travel outside of Whitehill and Bordon to be active. There was nothing to do in Whitehill and Bordon. Combined with that, we found out that there was a very high proportion of single car use in families. So one partner would be going to work during the day with the car, and the other partner would be left at home caring for children without a car, so not able to, as they perceived it, get outside of the town to take part in activities. So we really took this to heart, and we worked with the developers to deliver amazing open spaces early on in the programme to encourage people to stay in Whitehill and Bordon. And then our active lifestyles work stream was working around shaping activities that could encourage people to use the new spaces that were provided. We've been really lucky with our developers, particularly Whitehill Bordon Regeneration Company and Radian. Hogmore Enclosure was the first large piece of infrastructure that was going to be provided, and Whitehill Bordon Regeneration Company were really determined that it was going to be a flagship for the healthy new town. They had workshops with a number of different stakeholders to find out how they could design it to be inclusive and accessible to all. And from this, 2 initiatives came out. One was a natural play area, which was designed to stimulate imaginary and sensory play for young families. And then the other one was dementia-friendly Hogmore Enclosure, which is almost completed now. So this includes... I have lost a page. So this includes shortcuts and escape routes, so that if people are doing a long route round and they feel uncomfortable, they can get back to the car quickly. Refuges, which are south-facing, so that people can feel warm if they want to sit down for a while. And then water features, which people find very relaxing to sit by. And then also things like interactive puzzles for children with autism to be engaged with, to distract them if they are getting bored on a long walk. Hogmore Enclosure has very quickly become an amazing asset for the town, encouraging people to take part in local activities. The park run started in March of last year and has 170 people running every week. And then we've got a junior park run starting in May this year, which we're really excited about. The Regeneration Company's Community Development Officer is also putting on activities every week to encourage families to get out and be active there. As well as Hogmore Enclosure, we worked with the developers to deliver the skate park much earlier than they actually needed to. It was way before the trigger points it had to be developed to. And they did it to a fantastically high standard, and it's a really great safe place for teenagers to hang out, because we had a huge problem with antisocial behaviour in the town. They put on skate jams there, which professional stuntmen come to, and one of our learning points has been that we've now worked with Whitehill Town Council to install drinking fountains, because the children were coming to the skate park and then nipping to the corner shop round the corner, buying energy drinks, drinking them there, and then littering them all over the place. So the drinking fountains are hopefully going to mitigate against that. We did a wayfinding project which arose from our ambition to make it easier to walk and cycle around town than to travel by car. We focused on an east-west route which goes across the town and takes into account four schools, 3 primary schools, a special school, and then also the secondary school, which is going to be moving over the next year from one side of the town to the other side of the town, but on the same route. And it does cross the busy A325, which, going back to what Robert was saying earlier, is absolutely impossible to cross. You've got about 15 seconds to get across the road, and it's got a bit of junction in the middle, and it's absolutely impossible if you're older. And one of the other things is that we felt that if we design a town for a 90-year-old, that would probably encompass everybody in the same way as if you designed a town for a 5 or 12-year-old. So we held workshops with over 200 people, including school groups and community groups, to discover opportunities for improvement along the route. Each person walked the street, walked the route with a workbook, and we took along the Disability Access Group, local councillors, school children and families, and so they recorded what they thought as they walked along the group and then along the route. And then we went back to schools and community buildings to map the opportunities out onto large-scale maps. So we have a really good record of what people think of this key route through town. Our consultants reviewed the mapping exercise, and the children in particular felt that there wasn't enough greenery, not enough flowers along the route. It was a very unloved route. And they also complained about the grass verges, which are these wide verges that cars can just go around very quickly, were very churned up and unloved. So we decided that we were going to put a community garden on one of them. And school children from four schools designed these hexagons with healthy lifestyle messages on them, which was turned into this beautiful patchwork pavement, and then we planted raised beds on it. The garden was launched at the start of the summer holidays, and we were warned by, it'll be vandalised, there'll be loads of littering, it will look awful by the end of the summer holidays. I dropped down from time to time during the summer, and it was amazing. There was no vandalism at all. The local residents, we put 2 watering cans in the garden. They hadn't been nicked. The local residents were going out and watering it every day, and there was a massive amount of positive comments. And we're now working with the Town Council and the Housing Association to secure the long-term future of the garden, and we're also planning a network of community gardens around the existing town. So we wanted to make the town accessible to all, regardless of any disabilities that they might have. So we brought in both sustainability consultants and access consultants to review the town centre planning application. They had very conflicting views. The sustainability consultants, Sustrans, Living Streets, wanted very little parking so that everyone would be encouraged to walk around the town. The access groups felt that you actually needed to have more, particularly disability parking, so that more people could access every part of the town. And we did come to a good balance when both of them were happy. Those consultants were happy by the end. And but we've now got 4 changing places in the town's plans, which I think is absolutely amazing to have 4 of them across what's not going to be a huge town centre, and one of them's in Hogmore Enclosure as well. So that was a real result, and the developers really took on that commitment as well. So that's all happening in the new town centre. We've got an existing community there which is very unloved, and it's not a place that people feel very safe going out into. We didn't want to wait until the new town centre was built, so we decided to develop a safe place scheme providing refuges for vulnerable people across the existing town. And we found 7 locations, including a church and a community centre and the local Tesco's, where people can go if they feel a bit insecure while they're around town. The people who work in the safe places have had safeguarding training, so if they pop in there, they will know how to make them feel welcome and contact someone for them and make them feel safe. The Community Trust has now taken over this scheme, so it's got longevity. It doesn't rely on the council to deliver it anymore. So Whitehill Bordon is a typical garrison town, and this is what our existing high street looks like at the moment. It's mainly takeaways, few to 2 parlours. Soldiers need carbs to get through the day, but the rest of the population doesn't really need quite so many carbs. And it's one of the areas that we haven't yet done as well on in terms of reducing the proliferation of takeaways. But one of our results, our key successes, is that we have now got a health and wellbeing policy in our new draft local plan, and so we're hoping that in the future we will be able to require health impact assessments on new development. So we have had some successes in creating a healthy food environment. Radian is our local registered social landlord, and they've really embraced the Healthy New Towns ethos as well, and particularly on the Quebec barracks site. So this was a space between two barracks buildings, and they built an atrium between them, which they turned into Cafe 1759. From the start, they wanted this to be something really special for the whole community, something that would set the tone of what the new Whitehill and Bordon community would look like. They got a public health nutritionist in to help them advise on the menu and how to merchandise the more healthy food options. And they recruited adults with learning disabilities to learn new skills and take on the posts within the cafe. We funded a food academy there, which is helping to combat holiday hunger and to teach families how to cook healthy, simple food. Okay, that's fine. Radian have also set up a Veterans Breakfast Club, and it has the hub for a new social prescribing initiative, and we're working with them to deliver a school readiness programme and a social isolation programme. I've got a few slides here which are just showing the range of activities that we're doing. So I've just given you my favourite activities there. If you get the slides and want to look through them and contact me about some of them in the future, that's great. So what's next for the Healthy New Towns programme? Well, the national programme is going to continue to be involved in shaping the future of built environments. In the spring, I think at the end of this month, the principles and practices for putting health into place is being published. And then they've also developed a network of 12 housing developers who are committed to developing these principles. NHS England is also developing a Healthy Homes Quality Mark as well. And then at Whitehill and Bordon, we're committed to delivering a green, healthy and connected town. We're embedding best practice from the programme into local community groups so that they have longevity and don't die when the programme funding finishes. And our main focus at the moment is on delivering the new town centre and delivering the new health hub. And there are my contact details. Thank you.